wait, so he has an older brother that dominated an ACC powerhouse, and now he's coming out of Georgia as an underrated prospect? Where have I heard this before? Welcome to the draft profile for Trevor Etienne. Thank you so much for watching. If you're into the draft like I am, a like and subscribe always helps out a small channel like mine. I really appreciate it. Let's get right into it, guys. We're talking about Trevor Etienne today. I am very likely to say Travis Etienne at some point, so give me a little bit of grace there, but you can definitely leave in the comments and give me the time code and shit on me as much as you want. I always love that as well. Let's go ahead and just get right into this skill chart here for you guys. So looking at this skill chart, the first thing that's going to jump out to you, or at least it does to me, is this is not a complete circle by any means. And I don't think this is a complete player. Trevor is not, in my opinion, a 3-down back in the NFL. I think this is your typical scat back, catch the ball out of the backfield, explosive, one-cut type of runner. He is a little undersized at 5'9", 200 or 195 probably more likely, but he's a stocky build. He has the size to withstand an NFL punishment, so I'm not too worried about the size, but it's definitely worth noting that he's going to be an undersized prospect. So obviously things like power at a 2, yeah, he's not a power back. That's just not who he is. He doesn't break a ton of tackles, in my opinion. At 3.4, that's a negative grade as well. But really the reason that this guy's going to get drafted, the thing that the NFL teams are going to love about him is his explosiveness and his athletic profile. So explosiveness at a 6.6 is what we got to talk about. Now, that's not an elite grade for me, but it is really good. He's an explosive athlete for sure. I will say I do think it's more of kind of a straight line explosive athlete. I didn't see a ton of wiggle in there, and we'll discuss agility in a second, but it's worth noting, he had the 4th best athletic scoring at the combine. He ran in the low 4.4s. His 10-yard split was, I believe, a 1.51. So all really, really good. Very, very fast, very explosive athlete. And I'm not somebody who overreacts to the combine numbers, but it's definitely a data point that I do insert into my final grade, and it's definitely worth mentioning. His speed is real. It is. Now, the other side of that, the yin to that yang, is I didn't think we saw a ton of wiggle. I thought he was a little bit of a stiff runner, especially between the tackles. I just wasn't super impressed. And that does kind of go hand in hand with his ability in the open field. And look, I'll be honest, these were scores that I thought would be higher. These were parts of his game that I thought I would like more when I went into the final grading process. But as I kind of dug into it, I didn't see enough. And an ability in open field is a slightly positive grade at a 4.7. That's 4.5 is my deadline average, and anything above it is positive, anything below it is negative. So you'll see I did end up putting elusiveness as a slightly negative grade. With ability in the open field, it's slightly positive because that kind of comes into account when you talk about just his straight line explosive speed. So it's kind of has to be positive from that element. But I didn't think he made a ton of people miss in the open field. I didn't think it blew me away by any means. Yeah, he's a fast guy. He's gonna be good in space. My real question kind of comes between the tackles. Does he have the wiggle between the tackles that you want to see? I question that. It's definitely the biggest part of his game that I had knocked for him, and it's definitely the part of his game that I'm the most worried about. Obviously, look, power, break tackles, like all of the elements of his game that I didn't expect to be good, I'm not really worried about, right? Like we already talked about, he's going to fit a role in an NFL offense. So these are the skills that complement that role. So these are the skills that definitely worry me more. Now, with that said, pass protection is really good. I mean, he's good fundamentals, good pass protector. I like it a lot. His patience, he runs with really good patience, and when he is just that, let the blocks develop, one cut up field, I love it. I like his vision as well. His burst is just NFL average to me. I mean, I think his initial burst in pads it's just fine. I mean, it's not what I saw at the combine. Like, his combine numbers would lead me to believe it would be a lot better. I just didn't see it, so I gave it an NFL average, and that's kind of where I have to stick with it. And then, of course, pass catching at a 6.4, that's an integral part of what I think he's going to be asked to do at the NFL level, and I'm not worried about it at all. I think that's really what you want from him. You want him getting the ball in space and on the boundary, right? Like that's where I want him. I'm not going to ask him to, run between the tackles more than a couple times a game. I'm not going to ask him to be that type of player. I just don't think he is. I think he can develop into it. Let's be clear. He's a younger guy coming out as a junior. This is not a guy that is, done growing as a player. He has more to show us. He has more to grow, and that does kind of lead me into my last point for the show, which is I do wish he would have stayed in school. I wish he wouldn't have declared, not only just because I do think he could have improved his draft stock. I think this is a loaded class, and he's going to kind of be forgotten about in a loaded class. I think there were years where this is the type of guy who gets drafted in the, early fifth, late fourth type of range. I don't think there's any chance that he goes there this year. I think there's just too many guys. There's too many guys that I've already watched. There's too many guys that I haven't watched that have a chance to do just that for me to think that a guy like this who, again, fits a role is not going to be every team's cup of tea, and the teams that are going to like him might have other options and might fill that void with other guys in this draft. So with that said, that's about all I have on Trevor Etienne. Please let me know in the comments what you think about Trevor Etienne and the rest of this running back class. I love the comments. They really help the algorithm a lot, and it means a lot to me as well. So yeah, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're interested in a draft channel, hey, we're hitting it hard right now. I'm trying to post videos almost every single day leading up to the NFL draft in April. So we got a long way to go, but I am super, super excited for this entire process, and we're just chugging along right now. So, hey, join the journey if you're interested. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.